Well, the job cuts, they keep on coming, over 100,000 more of them just this week. And adding insult to injury, some of those companies bringing down the axe are bringing in the bailout bucks. So if they're getting taxpayer money, should they be forced to lay off the layoffs? Well, hello, everyone. I'm Terry Keenan, and welcome to Cashin In. Our Cashin In crew this week, the gang's all here. We have Wayne Rogers, Jonathan Honig, Jonas Max Ferris, along with Tracy Burns and John Bradshaw Layfield. We're also joined by the Director of Labor Notes, Mark Brenner. Welcome, everybody. Okay, Wayne, you say no bailout bucks for companies who are giving folks the boot, and lots of people are getting those pink slips.
Well, I don't understand. If the Obama administration is suggesting that we have to get jobs, that we're going to provide jobs, and that was his constant mantra going forward, then I don't understand how you can turn around and award somebody for laying off jobs. I mean, it's your tax money, my tax money, everybody's tax money is going to some guy who's laying off jobs, and he's supposed to be creating jobs. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan, isn't it easier to just keep the jobs that are already there? I mean, the Obama administration is trying to create a couple million jobs, but that's going to take a long time.
Well, you know, Terry, job destruction is normal. I mean, the truth is it's a normal part of a functioning economy. Hell, if it wasn't for job destruction, we'd all be, you know, tilling the field on a farm
somewhere. Was the job creation a little better?
But that's what businesses do, Terry, and that's why the bailouts are so evil. You have a tremendous amount of malinvestment going on right now because you have economic decisions being made for political reasons. And so the problem here isn't the layoffs or bonuses, it's the bailout themselves. Until those stop, this economy is in real peril.
Mark, is it the bailouts?
So you agree with me?
Well, I don't know about that. But Mark, what do you think the problem is here, the bailouts or the layoffs?
Well, I think the layoffs, obviously, but we can't just look at the bailouts to the financial industry and start putting strings there. I mean, we also have to think about what kind of jobs we're talking about, and nobody seemed to care about slicing and dicing in the auto industry when they were putting bailout money there. I think we really need to preserve jobs there, as well as in the public sector, which is going to get a tremendous amount of money from the federal government in the coming months.
But we're preserving jobs when these people aren't working. You know, when companies don't have orders coming in, they're standing on production lines doing nothing. So just to keep them on the payroll for philanthropic reasons doesn't help the company's bottom line. And so, but I do think the problem with the TARP is they didn't put any restrictions on this money. They should have said, all right, if we're giving you money, don't go laying people off. But they didn't.
But Jonas, isn't the reason that they're getting money is because their businesses are in the tank? And that's why they're laying off people.
Well, and they probably would be laying off 10 times as many people had they not gotten
They'd be out of business, some of these.
Right, there'd be a whole bunch of layoffs. Michigan would be just all decayed. But the real core issue here is, do you want strings or not? I like to think the government's making distressed investments. And unfortunately, it's shifting more towards, well, if we're going to give you money, then we don't like this, and we want you to paint the building a different color, and you got to do greens. You know, that's not really the scope of a vulture investment. Are they making this investment to keep these companies alive, or are they using them as a conduit of employment, which is essentially what it's going to become?
Yeah, JBL, should they lay off the layoffs?
No, absolutely not. Look, the automakers need to downsize. That is the whole problem right here. Look, Mark Brenner, the reason he's defending these is because that rag he writes for, he's being supported by these guys. I mean, here's a guy who sells bumper stickers on his website, Troublemakers Union. I mean, they're very proud of the fact they write books on how to picket. This is the problem with the automakers is unions have destroyed this great industry, this great American industry. They almost destroyed baseball, and defending them just because you want to keep your little living that you have is ridiculous.
Well, I think I'm the only person making less than 6 figures on this show, so I don't have to worry about defending the living I've got. What I'm worried about is the living of the people who aren't in the top 5% with you there, brother. And that's why our unions actually really matter. And just in terms of putting strings on the bailout money, that's another string we should be putting, because 3 days after Bank of America got bailout money, they're organizing a call to actually go after unions and try to prevent a vital piece of legislation that we're looking at that Obama supports, that most of the country wants to see pass, the Employee Free Choice Act. And so I think you're way off there, brother.
I'll correct you, Mark. I make 7 figures, and I've earned every damn penny of it myself. As compared to you, who's been paid by unions your entire life, you've never held a real job, and that's why you're defending these guys. I find it absolutely ridiculous, and I find people like your existence pathetic and completely
I've never worked on a union payroll, brother, and I think you're barking up the wrong tree here. Trust me, the UAW is not giving us a dime.
You know, Wayne, just late this week we saw several Wall Street firms that have gotten TARP money, Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, saying they're probably going to have yet another round of layoffs. Do you think we're going to start seeing strings attached?
Well, if we don't have strings attached, it's crazy. Why should these people, if you're going to take Jonathan's ideological approach and say, okay, you have the right to fire everybody, you can fire and hire whomsoever you want, that's fine. But then don't come and ask me to help you get bailed out of your business. Your business should fail. If this is a free market, let me finish, please. If this is a free market, let your business fail. But don't ask me to hire your workers. That's crazy. Either you fire them or you hire them. But don't ask me to pay for it.
That's what I'm saying. Let's keep it a free market, Terry, because it's really become anything but. The government is the major player in the financial industry right now, and they're dictating terms of trade. How much the CEO makes, who gets fired, who gets hired, how much you pay on your mortgage.
They haven't done that yet, though, Joe.
Oh,
You know
no
what,
way.
Terry, come on.
It hasn't happened yet. There's been a lot of talk.
There are a lot of companies that needed both the money and to lay off people. They just needed to downsize altogether and shore up their balance sheets.
But
many
they have
of
a
them,
right to lay off people.
And they do. I'm not saying they didn't, but I'm just saying that the two are not mutually exclusive. There were many instances where companies needed both the layoffs and the money.
Well,
yes, but why should I have to pay for it? That's what's wrong. You're asking me to pay for it. There's stupidity of the people.
I'm on your team.
Well, I'm saying, but don't ask us to pay for it.
Okay.
Wayne's addressing the core issue. If I bought stock in Ford or General Motors or Merrill or Bank of America, I wouldn't care whether they fired or hired people. I'm just an investor. I expect to make money on the thing. The government is not taking stock, unfortunately, in these companies. They're in this vague zone of, it's like if I gave money to General Motors as a charity, yes, I would not want them to fire people, my friends in Michigan. But that's like a different kind of an investment, and that's the gray area the government's in right now. It's not an investment. It's not quite a handout. It's in this weird zone.
It's Goldman Sachs socialism. We're giving them money without any actual control. It's a ridiculous setup. I mean, look, we just got a report that $18 billion in CEO bonuses got paid out after the economy went into the tank. I mean,
I thought you guys loved socialism, though, right? I thought you union guys loved socialism, though. You should
not the Goldman Sachs
jumping up and down for this.
There you go.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thanks. Well, forget the economy. As ice storms blanket half of the nation, Al Gore, he's out there urging Congress to focus on global warming. You see something wrong with this